Welcome back to Science of Mind, your guide to unlocking your full potential. Today we're exploring a vital skill for building a better world, one relationship at a time. Empathy in everyday life, building stronger connections through understanding. Remember to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more insights on personal growth. In a world often characterized by division and disconnection, empathy stands out as a beacon of hope. It's the ability to understand and share the feelings of another person, to step into their shoes, see the world from their perspective, and feel what they are feeling. Empathy is more than just sympathy, which is feeling for someone. Empathy is feeling with them. While sympathy can create distance, empathy fosters connection. It allows us to build stronger relationships, resolve conflicts more effectively, communicate more compassionately, and create a more inclusive and understanding world. Empathy isn't just a nice-to-have trait, it's a fundamental human capacity that can transform our lives and the lives of those around us. But empathy isn't always easy. It requires us to challenge our own assumptions, confront our biases, and step outside of our comfort zones. It demands that we truly listen to others, even when we disagree with them or don't understand their experiences. So, how can we cultivate empathy in our everyday lives and build stronger connections through understanding? It's a skill that can be learned and developed with conscious effort. Let's explore some practical strategies, exercises, and real-world examples to help you become a more empathetic individual. Step 1. Active listening, the foundation of empathy. Active listening is the cornerstone of empathy. It's about paying attention not only to the words someone is saying, but also to their nonverbal cues, their tone of voice, and the emotions underlying their message. Practical tips. Pay full attention. Put away your phone, turn off the TV, and give the person your undivided attention. Make eye contact. Maintain eye contact to show that you're engaged and interested. Avoid interrupting. Let the person finish speaking before you respond. Resist the urge to interrupt or offer advice prematurely. Ask clarifying questions. Ask questions to ensure you understand the person's message and perspective. Summarize and reflect. Paraphrase what the person has said to show that you're listening and understanding. Use phrases like, "So what you're saying is, if I understand correctly, it sounds like you're feeling." Be aware of nonverbal cues. Pay attention to the person's body language, facial expressions, and tone of voice. These cues can often convey more information than their words alone. Exercise the active listening challenge. For one day, make a conscious effort to practice active listening in all of your interactions. Focus on truly understanding the other person's perspective before sharing your own. Resist the urge to interrupt or offer advice. At the end of the day, reflect on your experience. What did you learn about the people you interacted with? How did active listening change your interactions? Step 2. Perspective taking, walking in their shoes. Perspective taking is the ability to imagine yourself in another person's situation and see the world from their point of view. It's about understanding their thoughts, feelings, and experiences, even if you don't agree with them. Practical tips. Ask questions. Ask questions to understand the other person's background, experiences, and beliefs. Imagine their circumstances. Try to imagine what it would be like to live in their shoes. What challenges would they face? What opportunities would they have? Challenge your assumptions. Be aware of your own biases and assumptions. Challenge them by considering alternative perspectives. Read fiction and watch movies. Engaging with stories about people from different backgrounds can help you develop empathy and perspective-taking skills. Exercise the perspective-taking simulation. Choose a person in your life who has a different background or perspective than you. For 1 week, try to imagine what it would be like to live their life. Consider their age, gender, ethnicity, socioeconomic status, and life experiences. Reflect on your experience. What did you learn about their perspective? How did it challenge your assumptions? Step 3. Emotional identification, recognizing and sharing feelings. Emotional identification involves recognizing and understanding the emotions that another person is experiencing. It's about tuning into their emotional state and feeling what they are feeling. Practical tips. Pay attention to emotional cues. Look for clues about the person's emotional state in their facial expressions, body language, tone of voice, and words. Use empathy statements. Validate the person's feelings by using empathy statements like, "That sounds really difficult, I can understand why you're feeling that way," or, "It must be frustrating to..." Share your own experiences, appropriately. Share your own experiences that are relevant to the person's situation. This can help them feel understood and less alone. However, be careful not to make the conversation about you. Be present. Be fully present with the person and focus on their emotional needs. Let's dive into an exercise called the emotional mirroring exercise. Partner up with a friend or family member. One person will share a personal experience or story that evokes a strong emotion. The other person listens attentively and tries to mirror the speaker's emotions. They can use similar facial expressions, body language, and tone of voice. After the speaker is finished, the listener shares what they felt and observed during the exercise. Then, switch roles and repeat the exercise. Now let's move on to step 4. Compassionate communication, expressing empathy through words. Compassionate communication involves expressing your empathy and understanding through your words. It's about communicating in a way that is respectful, supportive, and validating. Here are some practical tips. Use I statements. Express your feelings and needs using I statements like I feel concerned when, or I need. Avoid blaming or accusing. Focus on expressing your feelings and needs without blaming or accusing the other person. Use empathy language. Use language that conveys empathy and understanding, such as I understand that you're feeling, or it sounds like you're going through a lot, and I'm here for you. Validate their feelings. Acknowledge and validate the person's feelings, even if you don't agree with them. For our final exercise, let's try the compassionate response rewrite. Think of a past conversation where you responded in a way that you now regret. Rewrite your response using compassionate communication techniques. Focus on expressing your feelings and needs without blaming or accusing the other person. Step 5. Challenging your biases, expanding your circle of empathy. We all have biases, both conscious and unconscious, that can limit our ability to empathize with others. It's important to challenge these biases and expand our circle of empathy to include people from different backgrounds and with different perspectives. Here are some practical tips. First, recognize your biases. Identify your own biases and assumptions. Be honest with yourself about your prejudices. Next, seek out diverse perspectives. Expose yourself to different cultures, viewpoints, and experiences. Another great way is to read books and watch movies from diverse authors and filmmakers. Engage with stories that challenge your assumptions and expand your understanding of the world. Lastly, travel and interact with people from different backgrounds. Immerse yourself in different cultures and learn about the experiences of people from different walks of life. By doing these things, you can truly broaden your empathy and understanding. Step 6. Practicing empathy in everyday interactions. Making it a habit. Empathy isn't just something you practice in formal settings, it's something you can cultivate in your everyday interactions. Practical tips. Start small. Begin by practicing empathy in your interactions with family members, friends, and colleagues. Be mindful. Pay attention to your thoughts, feelings, and behaviors in your interactions with others. Make a conscious effort. Remind yourself to practice empathy throughout the day. Forgive yourself. If you make a mistake or say something insensitive, forgive yourself and learn from the experience. Step 7. Recognizing and addressing empathy. Fatigue, taking care of yourself. It's important to recognize that empathy can be emotionally taxing. Constantly absorbing the emotions of others can lead to empathy fatigue, a state of emotional exhaustion and burnout. It's crucial to practice self-care and set boundaries to protect your own well-being. Practical tips. Set boundaries. Limit your exposure to situations that are emotionally draining. Practice self-care. Make time for activities that you enjoy and that help you recharge. Seek support. Talk to a therapist or counselor if you're struggling with empathy fatigue. Recognize your limits. It's okay to say no to requests for help or support if you're feeling overwhelmed. Now, let's address some common myths about empathy. Myth: empathy means you have to agree with everyone. Reality: empathy means understanding the other person's perspective, even if you don't agree with them. Myth: empathy is a sign of weakness. Reality: empathy is a sign of strength and emotional intelligence. Myth: empathy is something you're born with. You can't learn it. Reality: empathy is a skill that can be developed and improved through conscious effort and practice. Myth: empathy is always appropriate. Reality: While empathy is generally a positive trait, there are situations where it can be harmful or inappropriate, such as when dealing with manipulators or abusers. Empathy is a superpower that can transform our relationships, our communities, and our world. By practicing active listening, perspective-taking, emotional identification, compassionate communication, challenging our biases, and making empathy a habit in our everyday interactions, we can build stronger connections, foster understanding, and create a more just and compassionate world. Remember, empathy is not a finite resource. The more you give, the more you have to give. So, start today. Choose 1 or 2 techniques from this video and commit to practicing them regularly. The ripple effect of your empathy will be profound. That's it for today's episode of Science of Mind. We hope you found this helpful. How will you practice empathy this week? Share your ideas in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you. And as always, remember to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more tips and strategies on personal growth. Keep believing in yourself, keep practicing empathy, and we'll see you in the next video.